Hello Racers, so today I've got for you a guide on how to play Thrawn Data Vault. So this is the deck. Thrawn Data Vault is a soft control type of deck, so this is the archetype that sees play basically the beginning of the game. In set 1 it was Krennic ECL, set 2 it was Kira ECL, and then it changed into Kira Data Vault. And in the current meta, Kira Data Vault is a little bit struggling. In set 4, she was definitely one of the best decks, if not the best. But currently, Kira, like I mentioned, she's struggling. Kira can't really keep up with all the value that there is in the meta. And also, her deploy is not as well positioned to the meta. So my suggestion is trying Thrawn with Data Vault. This deck is really interesting just because it allows you to get so much value with the when defeat units, and value is the key keyword for the Legends of the Force meta. Like, there is a lot of value, so it's important to keep up with that. And Thrawn is actually good at doing that. So we have Cop Vent, who you can proc twice. Getting two drops with his when defeat is amazing. Nightster Warrior drawing 2 cards when she dies is also very good. Getting the healing with Onyx, Seer Runner, that's a very good payoff. And Thrawn himself has a pretty decent body for 7. So this deck can keep up with the Force decks by just playing the value war, and that's why I like it in the current meta. So an answer to why I feel like Thrawn currently is better than iden. So the reason why I don't feel like iden is as good anymore, like during the Galactics and like early PQ meta, iden was pretty decent. She was winning some tournaments, but currently the rise of Boba Data Vault and also Quinlan make iden very weak in the current meta. Iden can't really keep up with all of the indirects that are coming her way from Boba. The best way how we can mitigate indirects is by dealing them to your units, but iden doesn't really play any units, like up to basically 8 resources. Like, she can deploy on 6. She might play like 1, maybe 2 units before 8, but the deck operates largely on playing Super Laser Blast on 8 and then playing some units after that on 9. Sometimes playing like a Walker on 8, but usually it doesn't play many units, so it's very hard to mitigate the indirects. So Boba Data Vault is a very tough matchup for iden. Also, we have Quinlan. Quinlan can be very problematic for iden as well. This deck doesn't really have any card draw. Like, it has I Am Your Father in some of the versions, but I Am Your Father is essentially 3 mana, deal 7 damage to a unit. In vast majority of the cases, if you play against a control deck, especially like hard control deck which plays I Am Your Father, you should just allow them to deal the damage. So it's not really a card draw card. And in Thrawn we have the Nightster Warrior, which allows you to draw 2 cards. So that mitigates all the discard package that Quinlan's, Kylos play currently, and basically it mitigates all the force throw decks. And it's not really that hard to fight the Nightster Warrior because you have Cop Vent. Cop Vent in this deck allows you to dig twice, so you basically dig 20 cards in your deck, which is like a third of your deck. So like he can find Nightster Warrior quite consistently. So like that's why I believe Thrawn is quite good in the current meta. So how to beat space aggro with the Thrawn? In this deck we have basically the answer is by playing your own space units. So first of all, we have the Inferno and Onyx. Both of those 2 drops are okay statted units, but the thing about most space aggros is that they play 2 1-drops on turn 1. And 2 free units are actually pretty decent at taking out the 1-drops. Like, there are very few 1-drops that have more than 2 HP, and very few of them have free power. So it's not uncommon for your Inferno or Onyx to swing into 1-drop, kill it, survive, swing into another 1-drop and kill it. So you basically kill 2 units. It will take you some time because you need to first of all swing at 3 resources, then again at 4 resources, but you'll also get the when defeat value. And especially when you play against aggro matchups, the healing from Onyx twice with Thrawn ability can be huge. In order to mitigate to deal with the free cost ships, you have Eager Escort, which kills which kills a lot of very meta-relevant free drops in space. It kills Victor Leader, Millennium Falcon, Sanctuary Shuttle, Lurking TIE Phantom. It kills all of those, so having the option to ambush with the Eager is very important. And later in the game, we have the Runner, which gives you the restore. When he dies, he also heals 6 HP essentially for your base. With this unit, you, in vast majority of the cases, you just want to heal your base. And he's a card that can allow you to survive till Super Laser Blast quite easily. So that's the plan against the aggro, against the space aggro. When we play against force decks, the thing is that they play very heavily on the ground. There are very few space units, so since you have a lot of 20 feet units on the ground, you can just play them and swing with them into the opponent and get the crazy value. Cop Vent is the best example. Another good example is Desperate Commando. Desperate Commando on its own is a 2 mana 2/2, nothing impressive, but with her 20 feet and with Thrawn, you can use her twice and give -2/-2 to something. And there are a lot of 2/2 shielded units that are in the current meta, like Sage, like Krennic, Crafty, L3. There are a lot of those, so you can take out them with the 20 feet. Like by just ignoring the shield. So Desperate Commando can help you to hold your ground against the force decks early on, alongside the co-op. Krennic gives you a nice card, nice discount, and Nice War gives you the cards against the force throws. And later in the game, we have the Maul and Vader with Time Intervention, which can help you to kill a lot of those late game force units like Luke's, like Yoda's, like Mace Windu's, Anakin's, cards like that. How to beat value decks. So whenever you play against like a very more like a slower deck, here you don't really care about board presence early on, about the keeping up tempo wise with the opponent. What you're looking for is to ramp to the late game and just overwhelm your opponent with your powerful late game with the Vaders, Walkers, Devastators, and Avengers. And in order to ramp, we have the Technician resupply. We can also utilize the Warrior just to get extra card draw to make sure that we get those late game cards when we need them. How to beat hard control? This is basically universal for like any soft control. You basically try to mill them out with Vigilance. You have 1 restock in the main deck. The reason why you have restock in the main deck is because if you play Control Mirror, it's not uncommon for you to be able to only finish 2 games, just because the matchup itself is quite slow. So having the restock in main actually can give you the edge in the mirror, so you can win it game 1. And then if you only play 2 games, either you draw if you lose the second game, or you win 2-0, which is like a very good case. So you never lose unless you manage to get 3 games. But like with mirrors control, it's not uncommon for you to not be able to close the games in time. It depends on the players, but like it's an option. So restock allows you to get the vigilances back, the restock back, and also maybe some late game cards, because one of the other ways how we can win this matchup is by just winning the game with value, with playing just the big units and killing the opponent with that. But yeah, it usually just comes down to mill with the restocks and the vigilances. How to sideboard with Thrawn? So to answer that question, we have first space aggro decks. Against space aggro decks, we want to put in Eager Escort, Fleet Interdictor, and Confiscate if it's a pilot leader. Most of the aggro space decks are leaders that have piloting, so we want to put those in. And regarding what you should take out, is mostly late game cards, so the cards that are super expensive, Devastators, Avengers, you are very unlikely to get to those into aggro space decks, against the aggro space decks, so you can easily take out those. When you play against the force decks, so decks that play very heavily on the ground, they don't play many units in space, you can just easily cut out the space cards, so you can cut Eager Escorts, without any issue, and just side in the Desperate Commando. In sideboard we have one extra copy of the commando. In main deck we have 2 of them, so we can just put in the third copy. We can also play Palpatine's Return, so we get flexibility on what we want to bring back. Sometimes you can discard Maul and play him 1 round faster. That's also an option if the opponent discards you and you don't have anything that is important to keep alive. So you can like afford to take 7 damage. Or if they play Ahsoka, that you can then also discard Maul without any issue. There is also Confiscate, which, like I mentioned, is good against the pilot decks, but it's also good against like any decks that play a lot of upgrades. So if you play against like a Kylo, you can easily side in the confiscates as well. And usually the answer against any against the Kylo is also just side out the space units. Rival's Fall, a good card when the opponent is playing a leader with piloting, or just a leader that is high threat. So like a Kylo is a great example. Talzin, basically leaders that really like to have upgrades on themselves. So in Talzin case, it's a Fallen. Kylo is just a like Kylo, when Kylo deploys, like he has like 3 or 4 upgrades on him instantly. So Rival's Fall is no brainer against him. And then we have also the Annihilator. Annihilator is against like Mirror of Controls, or any against like a very value-oriented matchups where you can actually get to a lot of the resources. Devastator is great against those, and because of Thrawn, we can get the when defeat of Annihilator twice. So that's basically how you want to sideboard with this deck. And yeah, that's basically it for today. Lastly, I just wanted to shout out all the tier 3 patrons that are supporting us. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.